Hi friends, I'm Ashley. Welcome to Darling Cottage Diary. Today I am going to be adding to the journal that I made 2 weeks ago. If you missed this, I made it start to finish. It's completely no-sew, and I have that full tutorial for free here on YouTube, and I'll link that in the description box below. And I wanted to show you how, because I had a lot of people say they wanted to see how I journal in a personal journal. I recently lost one of my social medias due to hackers, and it sounds so ridiculous because this is something that happens all the time, but it really made me think about keeping memories and how I was already keeping a lot of memories with my art. And now I'm extremely motivated to incorporate the artwork that I do that's, inspired by music and stories and all of these other things that I love. I'm really been inspired to incorporate the things that, just the everyday moments that I would normally post on social media. I'm more motivated to document those in a real notebook, in a real journal, away from the digital space for many reasons. But so I had many people say that they would love to see how I fill this. And I'm going to do 2 pages for you today that kind of cover, I guess, some of my favorite pictures and moments from June and July of this past year, in 2025, if you're watching this in the future. And I also wanted to use some of the ephemera from Ephemera Club. This is what Ephemera Club received for for August. The theme was purple. The theme was regality, and I kind of took all of these different words, and they got to vote on a color scheme. And so, because regality has always been associated with royalty, at least over in Europe in older times, and so I took just a lot of inspiration from scroll work and calligraphy work from the 1800s, as well as some prints, and just decided to make some ephemera that was all the same color scheme but slightly different colors and different pieces. So these 2 are vellum, which is why they're kind of translucent and taken from 1700s documents, and then I added a little vintage French stamp here and the Baravion airmail stamp. This and this are both clear stickers, so I will probably cut them out a little closer, but you can see through them. I'll probably have pictures or something down and then put them down to kind of hold something in place, since you can see through where the white spaces are. And then this is a full sticker sheet, again, of different colors of both black and white with different shades of purple, that I feel like some of my pictures have some purple in them for these last 2 months, and I wanted to use these, or at least some of them. I probably won't use all of them, because it's the fun thing about collecting ephemera, is you can have all these random little bits and pieces, and then just, I don't know, you find the perfect thing for it to fit into. And then this is just a piece of really pretty frayed velvet ribbon that I found, a little scrap with the light bulb pin. And I always try to send something that's, I typically do prints and vellum and stickers, and then I try to do at least one little scrap of fabric or ribbon or buttons. I've got to be more careful about trying to send other things through the mail, because especially in July, I had several pieces sent back. Unfortunately, I had to resend a lot of people's parcels because I was trying my luck a little bit too much with the postal service. So I've got to be more careful about sending flat things, but the ribbon should be fine. Anyway, so let's get started. Now, if you haven't watched the tutorial for creating this yet, it is an accordion style, the center bound. I love my center bound journals. I have a ton of them, but this is the first time I've tried an accordion style, because not only am I trying out the wider pages, but also being able to lay these flat as I'm working on them, because you have that natural curvature with a center bound journal. I'm really loving it. It's nice because I like texture, and I like a lot of things that center bound journals struggle to contain. Now, this little printer is very small. I'm printing out normal, I think these are 5x7, or maybe they're 4x6. They're one of those pictures, and this company had contacted me and sent me one for free, and I've used it in several of my videos. It's still going strong on its first ink cartridge, and I'll put a link for this below, but I've been really happy with it so far. It does have like a preservation ink layer that it puts on top of it that a traditional printer doesn't. So I like that too, because I use my traditional printer a lot, but these feel more like a normal print quality, which is really nice. And it comes with an app that you put on your device that allows you to create the little collage like this. And for somebody who is, quitting social media, or personal social media, it was nice to be able to easily, print out these small pictures, because if you go and try to get a whole thing developed, and it's too much. It needs to be quick and accessible. So if you are similarly breaking up with social media, a small printer is a good thing to have. There's a whole bunch of different types. I've used a Canon one. I've used a couple of different brands. The Canon one stopped working after about a year, which was unfortunate. But this one's holding strong so far, so I can recommend it so far. The pictures themselves was just one of my little self-dates, my artist date that I took when I was out getting supplies for an inspiration for my scrapbook page wall. That I'll put that video in the description box below as well. But funny story, I had gone to a French importers, kind of like an antiquities French importer place, and it's really cute because they get all of their stuff and then ship the trucks over, and they have this old house that they've turned into a really nice thrift store essentially. And so I was able to go through, and they have some modern things like room sprays, and they have tea and some modern French imports, but a lot of it is antique furniture, books, things like that. And so I had a good time just wandering in there for a good 2 hours, and decided, afterward I was starving. And then of course I was in the mood for French food, because I'm sitting here like reading all these French books, trying to figure out which ones I wanted. And I wrote, just French cafe, because the place was pretty far from my house. It was like just French cafe into my phone map app, and I was like, okay, you'll take me where we're supposed to go. And it gave me a place that was called, I think it's Annabelle's Brasserie. A brasserie in France is kind of between a cafe and a restaurant. Restaurants are typically nice, and brasseries are a heavier food than a cafe, and they're typically open later. So it's not a super nice place, but they're like comfortable. And cafe is more for just coffee, and most of them don't even have places where you can get pastries, or if they do have anything to eat, they are just pastries. So it's like, oh, that's perfect for lunch. I walk in, no, it is like a Michelin star, really nice place that I just opened up. Whatever, we're just gonna roll with it. There's hardly anybody there. So I got a room to myself and enjoyed all of the tasty bits. And they had some really nice drinks. That was a lavender something. And then they had the eggs on eggs, which is like fish caviar on top of deviled eggs, which I typically don't like normal deviled eggs. Those are very good. It's something about the extra flavor from the roe that I really like. And I ended up getting raclette too, which I only want every once in a while because I forget how strong the cheese is, and I'm a big time wimp when it comes to strong cheese. But I was just in the mood for it that day. So it was a nice little solo artist date that I enjoyed. And the other bits, because this spread was photo heavy. Both of these months, actually, I've decided we're going to be pretty photo heavy because, I don't know, it was kind of the one big artist date that I did that month, and my kids were with their dad a lot in June, and so it just, I got some time to myself, and I wanted to remember that. And the other pieces are just little bits of ephemera that I found going through. Usually when I do a video and I do a page, I'll sit there and I'll go through all my ephemera if I have a theme in mind. This one, I just rolled with what I found as I worked, which can be kind of, like, sometimes it's going to turn out not exactly how I envisioned it, because some things come through that I question later, or, you know, it's not as neat and put together around a central idea, doing your personal photos and your personal memories rather than, you know, like a story or a music thing you have in mind. But I'm still happy with it, and I'm still, you know, I've written about all of these things in my regular writing journals, and this is strictly a visual diary. As I said, something to replace the visual social media that I'm used to. I didn't used to write all that much on social media. It was mostly pictures. So this is kind of the transference of that, because it's something that I've already written about, but I wanted this one to have all of my personal pictures in it. I also, if you're like me, you probably have a million different washi tapes, because I love washi and then I forget to use it a lot. So I'm trying to be better about using it. And I got this from the Washi Tape shop. It's like an academia set. I think there were 5 of them in there, but I like every single one that came with it. So, and the color scheme matches the faded kind of sepia tone of the music pages. So I know that I'll use all of these throughout this journal. And that little orange tag, that's from the Museum of Fine Art in Houston, and because it spans 4 buildings, it's a huge facility, and my boyfriend had taken me there for a super belated Valentine's Day earlier this year, and I kept that. I keep a lot of just little personal ephemera bits, and I'll stick them in a box or I'll stick them on a shelf, and then I have this accumulation of just little bits of memories, and I'm like, I need to do something with it. And that was another motivation for creating this journal, because I want to make sure that I have pictures and other things that I want to keep them all together in a somewhat organized fashion. And because I've been bad about just having a shoebox full of like high school memorabilia that I never made into scrapbooks. So I want to be better about that now in my adult life. And anyway, so you wore these little tags on your shirt or your clothes so that the people working there, because they have restaurants and other stuff in the facility, and so some people are in there, or they'll host weddings and stuff. So it's like, if you have one of those tags on, they know that you're a paying tourist rather than somebody who is just going to the restaurant or just doing something else. So it was a cute little thing, and I wanted to keep it. But as I worked on this, I got really frustrated with how bright and clashy the orange was. So I came up with a little solution for keeping it in here, but also kind of hiding it, just for aesthetic reasons. Now, these little pouches in this box, I saw these at the French importer, and they smelled so good. They're like little scent pouches that you can put in drawers, or you can put in a bag or your closet, so that it emits a scent that makes everything smell good, and they last apparently for a really, really long time. But I love they just had the little charm on them, and the fabric was beautiful. The scent, I actually bought the room spray, this room spray, because I loved it, and it, trying to be financially responsible, it was like, okay, maybe I can convince myself to make myself the little patches and just spray the scent on the pouches and put them in my clothes drawers. I have not done that yet, but I don't know if you'd like some more sewing content. I've had some of them and they performed well, so if y'all would like to know how to make little scent pouches and see me try to recreate those, I can do that. But anyway, they were just so cute, and they also had, I didn't print the picture, but I took another picture of, it was like a bigger pouch that kind of looked like a vase, and it had some really pretty millinery flowers coming out of the top that you put on your desk or in your bedroom, and it's the same thing. It emits the same scent, and it's, I don't know what kind of fancy technology they got in it, but doesn't require electricity, and it smells good for a long time. So, and the room scent lasts forever too. Whenever you spray it, it doesn't dissipate quickly. It stays and lingers in the air, which is really cool. So they probably use high counts of like essential oils or something. But anyway, I was really happy with it and enchanted by all of it. And I wanted to recreate all of the things. So I wanted to take the pictures. And so that was all of the June pictures. And I wanted to just embellish a little bit. So the purple stickers and the embossed vellum page, those have been from Ephemera Club parcels I've sent out in the past, and they just felt like they were going to fit well here because the pictures took up most of the space, and that's something that I struggle with, is overfilling a page. It's actually more impactful, I've found, to leave some negative space in your work, both through your personal stuff and your artwork, because it allows the eye a place to regroup and rest, and it doesn't get overwhelmed as it's looking at everything. So, and then I'm just writing the date and artist date. So as you can see, I was very relieved that the ribbon covered the garish orange that was disrupting my little page here, and I needed some sparkle because y'all know me, and my my confetti walnuts and confetti pouches have been restocked. If you missed that, I have some glass beads and leaves, as well as a ton of different metal pieces, metal charms, and all kinds of fun, cute little things. So hopefully if you've been waiting for that, you've gotten word of it somewhere. But so yeah, I just thought that I loved the little glass strawberry, and I got some blueberries in there too. And I just thought the strawberry and the leaf would make a cute little sparkle charm to dress up my little tag here. I could have probably sewn some fabric or something on there, but I don't know. I've got room, I've got space for 3D things with this journal because of the accordion part, and because of I've got plenty of space for the accordion to get thicker with the space that I have in the spine of the cover. So I'm 100% going to be filling that up. So these pictures are from July, and they're kind of random and they don't match. And that's what happens when we have our personal photos. And so finding fun ways to make them cohesive is part of the fun of the challenge of this kind of, visual diary. For example, this picture, my boyfriend was helping me fix the holes in the walls that the plumbers left, and he was going through and putting the pieces of the wall back, and then I was using the mud to make everything smooth again. And my dog was supervising him at that point of like, it looked like she was telling him what to do, and it was just so cute. And then, that was from 4th of July. I went for a run, and it was just the sun setting behind the flag was perfect. This was from taking my boys to go to a trampoline park, and it had the date on it, so the sticker was a little big and kind of ugly to add to the to use the whole thing. So, but it had the date on it, and so I thought that would be fun. And then of course the name of the place. And then the sweet little frog. We had a really abnormally rainy July, and I found this frog living in a little bee bath teacup that I have in my garden. And he looked so content there. I just had to take a picture of him. So this is what I mean by like not the super big memorable things, just the little things that I wanted to remember is what I put in here for these 2 months. The flowers, I was having a rough day because of the whole Facebook hacking, and my boyfriend was very upset. He couldn't do anything to help me, so he sent me some flowers and some very fancy chocolate. And then the other two of my boys, we had gone to the beach, and the oldest is in a phase where he does not want to get in the water because he got stung by a jellyfish earlier in the spring, and so now he thinks he's going to get stung every time he goes in the water. So he stole my abnormally large sun hat and kind of just hung out on the sand eating snacks. And then my youngest, we spent a day making, that's a happy ghast from Minecraft. He has figured out that mommy is crafty, and he asks for the most off-the-wall gifts for holidays and his birthday and stuff. So like last Christmas, I made him a giant Death Star beanbag. I don't know why they don't make those, because that's a really big missed opportunity financially for, I guess Disney owns Star Wars now. So, but I made him one because I like to sew. So now, anytime he comes up with something crazy and I can't find a toy of it, he's like, yeah, but you can just make it. As kid, you know how much I love you, obviously, because yes, I'm going to try now. So I taught him how to do some needle felting to create his little Minecraft character, and he was very happy about it. So that was a sweet little memory that I wanted to keep too. And since one of the academia tapes, one of the little, in that set of washi tape, was the black background with these flowers, it made me think of film tape, like old school actual film. And I figured, I can, I've got these cute little squares. I'll just use that tape to make it look like it's a film strip that's laying across the page. So that was the inspiration there. I was trying to figure out if I wanted the tape to go over them or under them, and I don't know, it cut off a little bit more of the pictures than I wanted it to, but I still think the effect was a cleaner look than having it go over it. I spent way too much time trying to figure out how I wanted it to look. Now, I promise I measured this and it fell just short, and I was not going to measure it and cut another one. So I was like, you know what, a sticker, a little tiny sticker, this will fix this and cover this up. And that is at least 70% of my journaling, is having something in mind and then realizing it doesn't work or something didn't work out right, and we're just going to fix it. It's fixing. It's my style. So if you make it to the end of the video, please leave me a little baguette or wine glass or cheese or something from the first page if you liked the first page better, and then leave me some flowers or a beach shell or hat or something from the second page to let me know which one was your favorite. If you have any tips for, making your personal journals very personalized, that would be great to leave for others as well. And the last thing I wanted to do was take this little ribbon that had been tied around the chocolates that came with the flowers from my boyfriend and put that in here, because that, with some of the other things that tag and both of those tags actually, they were just sitting on my desk in my office forever, and for 2 months, and this whole curling the ribbon made me feel very 90s mom, which filled my soul with lots of happiness. If you've never done that, please try it, because it's so fun. It's just like the plastic party ribbon that you can get at like anywhere. It's so fun making these curls, and the sound is nice. Highly recommend. So definitely recommend saving these little scraps and bits from your own life. I've added so many crazy things to my scrapbooks and personal journals, like because some makeup packaging was cute, or the ticket stubs when we used to have tickets, real tickets for the movies, or music programs, or all kinds of random things. Leaves. Leaves I found on a walk. Pressed flowers. There's so many things from our normal lives that we can save, along with photos and writing about it, that gives you that dopamine boost that you need when you're having a bad day, without seeing other people's, that makes you feel bad about yourself, or makes you feel like you're behind, or makes you, drains you in ways that we know social media does now. And being able to look at your own memories and seeing the highlight reel of your own life, it's so good for us. And I just, here, this is an example of some packaging. I bought myself this bracelet back in spring, and it came with this really pretty envelope, and so I knew I wanted to save it because I liked the pattern and I would use it in my journals. And like most people, when I get my tax return, I like to get myself one little thing and then throw the rest of the money in debt or retirement or savings and be responsible. But get yourself a little treat and then be responsible with everything else. That was my little treat. And I got it a bonus little treat because I really liked the envelope that came with it. So just these little things, and I'm going to remember that, seeing that little piece of lace. So if you enjoyed this is the kind of content I make. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope you come back next week. I post every Sunday. So take great care of yourselves, friends. I hope to see you next week. Thank you for being here. Bye.